Travis, and this is going to be me talking about NXT Season 3, or as I like to call it, Diva Search 2010. Of course, the third NXT is going to be about the Divas, and we were introduced to them tonight. I thought the show was okay. I wouldn't say it was good. It was a good train wreck, I'll say that. It was entertaining, but it wasn't entertaining, I don't think, in the right ways, but it wasn't horrible. It didn't make me run away from the show like some of the other shows from the previous two seasons have, but none of the first shows I don't think have been bad. So there we go. We got introduced to all of the wrestlers. The pros had theirs. You had Kelly, and hers was Naomi, which we found out later actually is a pretty good fit because Naomi was I guess she was a dancer, and much like Kelly does, I think she is very much what they would like Kelly to be, because if you ever notice, Kelly does pull off some pretty decent looking spots, but Naomi pulls off even better spots, and was actually pretty good in the one match she was in. Then we had Nikki and Brie Bella, the Bella twins. They introduced Jamie, who was just who was just, in my opinion, just kind of there. Primo introduced AJ, she was another one of the ones we actually saw wrestle. She was pretty good, I thought, the one time she wrestled. None of them really blew me away as far as interviews go. I guess AJ, in my opinion, was one of the better ones. So was Naomi, but Naomi seemed kind of off. Then we had Alicia Fox introducing Maxine. She probably had the best look of everybody until she put on her wrestling gear, but that was okay, I guess. So there was that, and she was pretty good on the mic as well. Then we had Goldust, I haven't seen Goldust in a while, or at least haven't paid attention to him, but it looked like Dustin was having fun with the character again. It looked more like the old character, which I guess is kind of what he's been doing anyways. But he's having fun, and I know a lot of people have been talking up the fact that he's been pretty good lately, and it kind of looked like that. It looked like he was back into what I like Goldust to be myself. His was the Eastern European, wherever she was from, Oksana. She looked pretty, and she had, the thick, I think she was adding on the accent a little bit, which kind of came off kind of, Kozloff-ish. And, but in the ring, not so much. And then we had, Vicky Guerrero, who came out hot heat. The woman's like a heat magnet. Dear God. I always think this when I see her is if Eddie was still alive, if her and Eddie were like together and on television together, oh my God, that would just be insane in my opinion. I mean, and who would have thought? But she just gets it for some, somehow. And she introduced her new diva because she fired the big giant diva she was going to have, because I'm not even sure why they fired her. I've seen the pictures that she supposedly got fired over, and, they weren't even like the Playboy stuff, let alone the stuff that, Mickie James did, or, the stuff that some of the other divas did long before they were in the WWE, so I don't really get that. They introduced Caitlyn, who I've never seen before. She was cute. She looked like your basic diva for a bit, but she did have a little bit more, I would say, personality to her than what she would say the normal divas usually have. I did think that they all seemed to have personalities. I did think they all seemed to have something about them that you at least noticed, I would say, but that was the thing. Then we got a dance-off, which was basically, the fans wanted, basically stripper dancing, and they only got that to an extent, so there was that Naomi won. She was the dancer. She should have won. She did some pretty nice stuff, so there was that. So, what are you going to do there? But it was okay. I mean, the best part of the dancing thing was actually they brought in Cole. Cole was dressed up like a goof. That was funny. Then they brought in Tony Chimmel, and they brought in Josh Matthews as well. And Josh Matthews was being kind of, Josh Matthews-ish, but it was all right. It was entertaining. The that first segment lasted almost 30 minutes, and it was kind of surprising because it didn't seem to last that long. It seemed to go along pretty quickly, so I didn't even notice it. So I guess that's a good thing, even though it wasn't just kind of there. Then we actually had a match. Yes, we had Alicia Fox and Maxine taking on Kelly and Naomi. Again, I already said this. I think Naomi came off looking pretty good. Her gear was not all that great. Maxine's was different, to say the least. But Naomi did hit a lot of nice spots, a lot of nice athletic spots. The finish was all sorts of fucked up, where the ref counted to 3, because that's what the WWE refs are told to do, is count to 3, because it seemed Alicia Fox or Kelly, one of the two, missed their spot, and however, Maxine and Naomi did what you're kind of trained to do, which is to keep going to an extent, even though they probably should have heard the bell, but I didn't even know what was going on. I'm watching it, so I can kind of see where them in the ring with everything going on, their first, match in front of a bunch of people, I could see where they would just, let's keep doing the spots, and they both still did, so that was just kind of there. And it did get, Naomi's, I guess, finisher over, so that was good to an extent. It was still a botch, but you're going to see that on Botch Mania. No doubt about that. Then we got a race for the flag, a capture the flag thing. It was okay. It was just kind of there. Then we had a mixed tag, which was Goldust and Oksana versus Primo and AJ. AJ looked pretty good. Oksana did not look good. It looked like she may have gotten hurt trying to do just a front face bump, to be honest, which is kind of scary. Then Vicky came out with Caitlyn, and that was just kind of there too, and ended pretty good. I mean, Vicky came off as like a super heel on the show, and she's probably going to be fun on the show. Her and Caitlyn have a pretty interesting kind of funny thing going. I would say I would say that's more of the storyline going in this. I'm not sure what any other storylines. It seemed like to an extent. I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird in a way. I guess Jamie came off of. Was it Jamie? I think it was Jamie came off of. I think it was Jamie who came off. Michael Cole was not a big fan of, but kind of what are you going to do there? But it was what it was, and I guess. Will I watch it again? Probably, but I don't know. It wasn't a bad show. It was just it felt like Diva Search, but like we had two women that actually looked like they were pretty good, at least for Diva standards, and did some fun things. So there's that to look forward to. Was it a great show? Definitely not. Did we see anything that was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see these women again? Not really. We saw some, maybe glimpse of hope, but it was, we already saw, I think it was Jamie who did an interview talking about the fact that Trish Stratus was like an inspiration to her, and she was a fitness model, and you've probably seen, I think she's the one that was the announcer before on NXT, and she was talking about Trish Stratus, and it'll be interesting to see how many of these women that keep coming up who Trish Stratus kind of did the mold for, along with Lita as well. I guess you could throw in that and see if we see some women that actually are not just models, but maybe are look good and are athletic and can actually do some stuff in the ring. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not expecting great and wondrous things. But it was a fun train wreck of a show, I will say that, and definitely I would tune in to watch it again, and it wasn't horrible enough to make me turn off the show. It was just kind of funny for how bad and silly and crazy it was, but I guess that's a good thing, but probably not in a good way. But anyways, with that, I'm out. I've rambled on long enough. Later.